so good to have you here on Holly's Wedding Tips from Relish Catering. How exciting! What is included in a traditional wedding meal for evenings?
So it really depends on what you want. We actually are a completely custom caterer, so we design our menus based on what our clients' individual preferences are. We don't want it to be about here's our set menu and here's what we do, pick from our list. We really want it to be personal, and we really want it to be about you and your guests. So we really make sure that we are including things that are maybe family recipes and traditions and things like that into the food, as well as maybe some new twists and new things like that. We typically, for a set dinner, we include a salad course, and then usually 1 to 2 proteins depending on what type of service we're doing, if it's buffet or plated or a family style, and then a starch and a vegetable as well. So it can be really anything, and we'll customize it because not just potatoes and beef have to be on that menu. We can make it anything. So it doesn't have to be what you expect. It can be the unexpected.
Excellent. What about in an afternoon wedding?
So typically an afternoon wedding, if it's a lunch or maybe after the lunch hour, we typically will see the same amount of food that is being served, but we usually encourage people, do something a little different. You can do hors d'oeuvres, you can do more of a tapas type of event, you can do all sorts of different things, but you want to keep in mind, you want to make sure that your guests are going to be able to eat and have food, because that's kind of what they're expecting when they come in. Especially if you're serving alcohol at your event, you want to make sure that you have enough food that people aren't getting intoxicated and wild and too crazy. You want them to have a good time, but you also want to make sure you're giving them enough food that they can really soak up some of that alcohol, but have a good time and make sure they're full, because a lot of times, unless you specify on your invitations or in some type of notice to your guest that there's not going to be food served, they do come expecting to have a meal.
Excellent. What are the current trends in catering?
There are so many. We have such a wide variety of things that not only that we suggest as trends, but what people bring us as trends. A lot of times people are doing small plates, which means instead of having a big seated dinner with one course, there may be a station and that you can go up to, and you can customize your own course. And so it could be a small plate being, if your favorite food is Italian, you can do an Italian small plate, which it may have something, I'm trying to think of something, like a pasta and maybe a Caesar salad and some vegetables. That's a pretty basic one, but you could do something, we do a lot of things where people can't make up their mind, and that's okay, because we can usually improvise. And if you want to do something and say you're really picky and your guests are not, or you're really eclectic, which we get a lot of, but your guests are not, they're not as adventurous of eaters, well, you can kind of incorporate both. You can do some more recognizable foods that are going to keep them, satisfied with that, but also give it a little bit of a twist so that they can have some experimentation at your wedding. A lot of times people will try things if they're small. If it comes out on a big dinner plate, it could be overwhelming for them, and they may not eat, which unfortunately means that you spent your money doing something that wasn't exactly consumed, which means it is a waste of money. But some other trends that we're seeing are roaming carts. So during cocktail hour, instead of having a station with fruit and cheese on it, or instead of doing past hors d'oeuvres where you have to have 10 of them, you can do a cart that maybe is still a fruit and cheese display, but it roams through your guests where they aren't having to leave their conversations to go get food.
What's the most unusual wedding you have done?
I don't know if I would say they're unusual, but I would like to call them unique. Themed events are really big for us, and something that we did that was really fun was we did a carnival theme that had really, really fun food. It went from their invitations all the way through their cake, and we incorporated it with food by doing gourmet carnival foods. So we did, instead of doing a normal corn dog, we did andouille sausage corn dogs as a past hors d'oeuvre. We did funnel cakes, but instead of just powdered sugar, we had assorted toppings. We had all sorts of different things, apples and syrups and strawberries, everything you could think of we could put on a funnel cake, and it's amazing the creations that people come up with, but it makes it super exciting. Be unique, be original, be fun for your, what are you passionate about? Because if you are somebody who wants to go with an Irish theme or wants to go with something that is a New York theme. We've done some that are so fun that are really based on where people have traveled to. Those are fun because then you can incorporate all sorts of different foods and different things into your menus. So the options are limitless. So be unique and be adventurous and be fun with your wedding. People are coming to have a good time. So I would say the more creative and unique you can be, the better it'll be, and the better memories that people will have.
Excellent. What are the greatest tips you have for brides and grooms regarding catering?
My biggest tip would be honest. Be honest with your vendors. Just really, tell them your budget. Tell them what you're thinking. If you have questions, ask them because they're going to give you the information that you need. But really, really be honest and share your passions. Share what you love. Share what you hate because that's a big one. We a lot of times don't know we don't know our clients before they come in. So if we don't know who you are, we don't know what you love and we don't know what you hate. So if you hate goat cheese or mushrooms or seafood, let us know. Because we don't want to serve that to you when you come in and then you don't get to try the food. So that would be my biggest tip is just be really honest, and your caterers are going to ask you a ton of questions. That's because they want to get familiar with what you want and also who you are. So just be prepared for that. The other suggestion I would give is if you want to do, or if you have a lower budget, be honest about that, but also stay away from doing it yourself. Your guests are coming, your parents, your grandparents, your aunts and uncles, they're all coming to spend time with you and celebrate. They aren't necessarily coming to work. And if it's something that you just have a lower budget, that's okay. Different people have different budgets and want to spend on different things, but just make sure that you keep your family and friends in mind that they're coming to celebrate and they want to be with you on your special day. It's the biggest day of your life. And let the professionals do it. The more professionals you have, the smoother the day is going to be and the more fun you get to have and your guests get to have enjoying the celebration.
Excellent. What is Relish known for?
Relish is we are known for being a custom caterer. So we do not have any menus. We design everything based on every client's unique individual wants and requests. So we really like to get to know you. We like to invite you in to do a tasting that's complimentary, that you get to try our food, and we get to know you. That's because when we're doing something custom, we need to know who you are, and we want to ask you the questions of what's important to you. Where have you been? What do you love? What do you hate? Where are we going to have the event, and what is your passion? The other thing that we are really known for is that we're local. We use local resources. So it's a big trend right now that people are wanting to use sustainable and local ingredients. We are known for that. We don't use frozen products at all. We use things that are seasonal as much as possible. Sometimes we can't get asparagus in December. We definitely can't get asparagus locally in December. So those are things that we are very honest with people about, but we make everything from scratch. We don't use any pre-made sauces. We make our salad dressings. We make our own sour creams. We make everything from scratch. And that's something that is very unique to us. That's because we don't want to give you Hidden Valley Ranch. We are going to give you our homemade ranch, or we want to give you what you want, but we really, really try to get to know you, and our event design team is there to become your friend and get your trust, and that we are going to make your day perfect. And we do that just throughout the process.